Hi everyone, welcome back. In the previous video, we saw what exactly is a rate limiter. Just to brief your knowledge, I'm just gonna tell this. So, rate limiter is just a useful tool for controlling the flow of traffic, be it to your server or an application, right? Which helps to ensure that the system remains stable and responsive and even under heavy loads. That's what rate limiter is. So where do we use this rate limiter? We use it in web applications, we use it in APIs, and we use it in online services to basically to prevent the spamming as well as DDoS attacks. And the main reason of the rate limiter is to improve the performance and reduce any likelihood of errors, ensuring that the system is not overloaded with requests, right? So that's the main criteria and use of this rate limiter. And there are a couple of important types in rate limiters. The first one that we can think of is fixed window rate limiter. Okay, so what does this mean? So we are saying that fixed window is nothing but we are defining a window, fixed window, and then we are going to define, we are going to limit the rate of requests, right? So this means like it is, let's say we have a system here, and then this is from time frame, start time and end time. Let's say from start time 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. till 10:15. So I'm just going to allow only 20 requests. Okay. Then again, so at 10:14, I had maxed out my number of requests 20, and then again at 10:14 I get one more request, 21st request to my system. This is my system. I get one more request. So what does this fixed window rate limiter does? It basically does this, that this particular request will be dropped, or it can be just rejected by the system. That's what this fixed window rate limiter is. So what does it do? Fixed rate limiter allows only a certain number of requests within a fixed time, such as here 20 requests per 15 minutes, right? So when a request comes in, this rate limiter is actually going to check whether the number of requests made in this particular time period has exceeded the allowed limit or not. If it is not so, then it will be allowed to make a request, and if it is so, then it's just going to reject or delay it until the window will reset. When does this window will reset? From 10:15 to 10:30, right? So it's just going to delay this particular 21st request, and then it's going to allow in this frame 10:15 to 10:30 frame. So this is very simple to implement. Fixed window is actually very simple to implement, and it is very effective in terms of maintaining the traffic from a single user, let's say, or from single IP address. In those cases, this is going to be very useful. And we also have one more type as sliding window rate limiter. This is another type of rate limiter. It is similar to the fixed window rate limiter, but the time window is constantly sliding or moving. Basically, the time window start and end is basically moving. This means that the rate limiter tracks the number of requests within a certain time window. And this, such as, let's say 1 minute, okay? But the time window is always moving forward. Here, if you see, let's say 10 and 10:1, the time window will always move forward. Let's say we are making a request at 10:1. The rate limiter will consider the requests made between 10 to 10:1, okay? And then if another request is made at 10:2, then the rate limiter is going to consider the time frame between 10:2 and 10:1. Between this range, it's going to define. So this is like a more flexible way than the fixed window, because here we are setting the time actually, but here we are actually the time is flexible. Yeah, the requests can come in at any moment, but we are looking at the back here to justify how many requests can come in. That's all we are doing. And this also allows for even distribution of requests, actually, like some amount of requests being made in all the certain intervals. So this is one way. This is one more type. And we also have something called as token bucket rate limiter. What does this do? This is if you consider the above two rate limiters, this is kind of a little bit complex. So it's like, let's say you have a bucket, and then with the token bucket limit rate limiter, right? The requests are only allowed if there are tokens in the bucket. So let's say this is one token, this is one token, this is one token, this is one token, like this. So each token represents basically certain amount of capacity that can be used for processing requests. Okay, when a request comes in, the rate limiter, this is the rate limiter, it's going to check if there are tokens available in the token available in our bucket. Okay, if there are, then the request is allowed. A request comes in, so this is going to check whether token is available or not, and then if it is so, then it is going to forward that request. And the capacity of this token will be reduced once the request is done. Let's say each bucket is 5. Let's say this is 5, this is 5, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. And then whenever the request is made, so this value will be reduced from 5 to 4. That's it. If there are any, let's say if there are no tokens available, basically the request is rejected, okay, or delayed until there are enough buckets in the, enough tokens in the bucket. Tokens are, these number of tokens are added to the bucket, usually the frequent interval. Let's say from 10 to 10:15, I will add some 20 tokens. Okay, and then from 10:15 to 10:30, I add some 40 tokens, because I know that number of users that's going to come here are actually having a maximum capacity, right? This type of, the rate limiter can be more precise, because the only way this, where this is going to be useful is nothing but you are going to allocate some number of tokens here, based on the user traffic that you know already, basically this is all the three important types of rate limiters. And then basically implementing a rate limiter typically involves, adding code to your web application or web server, basically, or to track all the incoming requests and enforce all these limits based on the chosen rate limiting algorithm, whatever you choose, right? So if you are also interested, there are some pre-inbuilt rate limiters. Rate limiting libraries are actually present, and tools for many programming languages. Those can be also integrated with your application. If you're until you have a certain criteria, let's say you have to customize the rate limiter, then you can use any one of this token bucket rate limiter or the sliding window rate limiter or this one. Or if not, if you want to use the standard one, then you can just go for already built rate limiters from online. You can pick one of them, and then you can add it to your code, and then that's going to do your work. So hope you understood what are the different types of rate limiters that are available. And then as of now, we discussed three main types. One is fixed window, one more is sliding window, one more is token bucket. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.